Man, you gotta love entitled kids, right? I mean, you really do, because every time they do something stupid that makes the whole world mad at them because they're entitled, they always follow it up with something even worse. So a couple weeks ago, Lori Loughlin, Felicity Huffman, and 48 other people were indicted in this massive, massive, massive college admittance scam, right? Where this one dude would go in and basically fake their way in by getting somebody to take their SATs or getting, going in through athletic scholarships, even though these kids didn't actually partake in sports, And it was funny because these people are millionaires. These are rich, affluent people, and their kids didn't get the education they needed in order to get into these schools. I thought that was the whole point. I thought that was the whole damn point these days, right? You always hear about that. Well, I just want my kids to have what I didn't have, a proper education. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. In today's world, it's not about having a proper education, really. It's really not. But in the case of Olivia Jade, she's more or less come under fire for things that she has said. She had that YouTube video clip where she was like, I don't even really want to go to school. I just want to go to the game days. I want to go to the parties. And then when the news broke that her mom had been arrested in this massive indictment, she was in the Bahamas on the yacht of the USC president of the board of trustees. Think about that. Didn't want to go to school at UCS or USC. Found out when she was on the yacht of a very, very, very high profile person at the college in the Bahamas, a 19-year-old, I think she's 18 or 19, partying on a yacht in the Caribbean. Right? Like, it's just really funny to me that that's where she was found out. Now, apparently, reportedly, she's upset at her family. She's reportedly just furious with her mom because this scandal, which kicked off March 13th, has not gone away. It's been 10 days and it's not over yet, and she's upset. Yeah, well, people keep talking about it because it's kind of a big deal. People keep talking about it because it's kind of a big deal. You know what I mean? It's not even kind of. It is a big deal. When your parents fork out a cool $500,000 in order to get you and your sister into USC on the crew team, it's a big deal. It showcases that there's lots of problems with this particular thing and that the government's doing their job by stopping it from happening. Now, I will give Olivia Jade a bit of credit here. I do. I give her a little bit of credit from one hustler to another. She didn't want to go to school, and she says that she was pushed, that her mom and her dad, Aunt Becky and the guy who created Mossimo Jeans, pushed her into going to college. She, with her 1.9 million YouTube followers, had deals with Sephora, L'Oreal, and a number of other makeup outlets. I mean, she was making money hand over fist. She was already making her own millions. She was already doing what she would have been learning at USC, or at least what she wanted to do in her life. She was working that game. I don't blame her at all for her hustle on this platform. Getting 1.9 million followers because you're the daughter of Aunt Becky is not a bad thing. Using it, parlaying it into a business with lots of influencer deals is not a bad thing. Now, granted, I don't know if any of those deals had anything to do with her going to USC, but it did play into some of the branding. And I think that might have been one of the things she was able to use as a way to get more of, to work with them a little bit more. I think she's smart enough to know an angle and played it when she could. I think that's what happened. I think her parents pushed her towards a college. She said, fine, USC. She could at least maybe use that with these brands that she's working with in order to market to college girls and everything else, which makes sense from a branding perspective. But man, to me, that's hysterical. To me, that's utterly hysterical that she's furious that 10 days later, this hasn't gone away and that she's lost all of her brand deals. Part of me feels a little bit bad for her. It does. I'm not going to lie. Like, people can give me crap for that one. That's fine. I think because I kind of get it. I think she has every right to be mad at her parents, but at the same time, there is culpability on her end. Okay. There's no get out of jail free card here. She's young. She's smart enough, business savvy wise enough to run a YouTube channel and get the deals. Also being affluent and having been the daughter of not only Aunt Becky, but the guy who created Massimo, and being an attractive young woman herself, the doors were kind of already opening for her. There was already things that she could have gotten her hands on. She didn't really need she didn't really need this sort of thing. She could have taken an SAT prep class and actually gotten a better score to get in, but instead, no, they went for the athletic road. Okay, sure, fine, whatever. But when I say I feel kind of bad, is because I feel this is more her parents doing, and this is a general theme we see quite a bit in movies, right? Go back to not another teen movie, Chris Evans. No, not even that, because he made fun of it from Varsity Blues. James Vanderbeek is talking to his dad, who I think runs like a car dealership or something, and he's like, "I don't want your life." And the dad was pushing him towards certain things, becoming a football star, and he wanted to go be a writer. We see that kind of those stories being told in Hollywood quite often. This is probably one of those in real life. I mean, even her dad, Olivia Jade's dad, I think had written down somewhere that he didn't want his daughter going to some crap school like ASU. And Arizona State University is like one of the top 10 party schools in the country. I think it's in the top 3. And so, of course, Olivia Jade, being the party girl that she is, at least from the appearance that the theory I get, or what I get from her, probably wanted to go there over going to USC, but parents pushed her towards USC, and she was knowledgeable of the scam. She had to have been. I don't believe any of the kids that say, I didn't know that what my parents were doing here. I think they had to have some knowledge. So I don't feel bad for her getting caught and all that stuff. I feel bad because I feel that her parents ultimately did push her towards it. And I feel that her parents were so worried about status. And keep in mind that when it comes to being rich and famous in Hollywood, there's still status levels, there's still status. Like Aunt Becky, Lori Loughlin, what do you know her from? You know her from Full House. Well, she's also on another show, was before she got fired, called When Calls the Heart on Lifetime, which was an old pioneer, whatever show, shot in Canada. She's not on there anymore. So it's not like she was in the A-list game. Not like she was making Marvel money or nothing. And Massimo sold itself off to Target a long time ago as a brand owned exclusively by Target. So they were affluent, but they weren't up in the high end. So what's it matter? Oh, probably, they're not really doing much. They're well known in Hollywood. They're getting into the later part of their career, the twilight zone of the twilight era of their career, maybe. And they want their kids to do better than they did, or they want their kids to have the education, and they want their kids to have the status, and they want to be able to tell their friends, your child went to ASU, well, mine went to USC. I could have gone to USC if I would have had the money and proper SAT scores. Just have, it's not even that high class of a school. If you want to get her, if they would have said Stanford or Harvard or Yale or Oxford or any of the Ivy League ones, I'd be like, yeah, no, I can understand you wanting to scam your way in there. But USC of all places, to me, just feels like a lame attempt at status. So I don't really feel bad that Olivia Jade is a little bit miffed at her parents for this. I find it funny that she thinks that 10 days later, people are going to stop talking about it. Oh no, it's been a slow month. It's been a real slow month. So people are still going to keep going on about that. But anyway, this just goes to show you Hollywood in that bubble is so far removed from the rest of society in regards to how we view things. But even in that bubble, there's still a class structure. Just as we find it in our bubble too, there's a class structure. In everything, there's a class structure. I'll give you an example. In YouTube, the class structure is boiled down to subscriber count. That's what it is. People will sit there and they'll argue that one sub or one YouTuber's opinions is greater than another because of a subscriber count. It's not the case at all. And it's an arbitrary number that at the end of the day is just status versus anything else. And that's true. I'm not saying unsubscribe. I'm just saying that's true. But in Hollywood, there's also that. And so affluent people are going to want their kids to be better than someone else they know who's affluent. So it's always a competition everything's a competition. And this time around, though, they found a dude willing to cheat for them who made millions of dollars doing this and ultimately got busted by the federal government. And now the 18 or 19-year-old daughter, one of them, is like, oh, my parents ruined my life. You still got your YouTube channel with 2 million subs. You're now infamous, which quite frankly, Olivia Jade is probably where you'd rather find yourself anyway. Trust me.